in crisis communication, I always like to refer to the Cameroon accident. I think it was the only Cameroon, the Kenya Airways
crash.
Cameroon,
Yes.
Douala, yeah. It was one of the best crisis communication. In fact, I've studied it at my master's properly, how they did that communication. Today, it stands out of the honesty with which they approached it. Many organizations and many government bodies would often first distance themselves from liability. But this one, Kenya Airways took the front, the lead to first of all admit and establish the desks where people were going to go to. And it just made Kenya Airways go up in terms of the perception index. Now, in crisis communication and in PR basically, because PR unfortunately has the worst reputation, but it's meant to also promote reputations. But we always say in public relations, of which I am a tutor, that one thing you need to do is to communicate honestly, because the truth is bankable, and you will withdraw from it someday at a big interest. What is happening here is that, one, there is no communication protocol in these ministries. There's zero communication protocol. Zero. Whatever they have is gag protocols. And I call them gag protocols because they say it is only person XYZ who can speak. If they're not available, there's nobody who can speak.
There'll be no communication at all?
Exactly. Now, there's the other fault which is happening here, that you send juniors, and you're saying you could send juniors. For me, I'll tell you from a communication standpoint, don't send juniors, because the messenger is as important as the message.
The message, yeah.
Now, when a death occurs, don't send Mushiri Nyagas Jinani Yule to go and speak to the people. And I've never seen his face. I don't know if you know how he looks like. I only see press statements.
He exists,
but he exists.
Yes.
And he only communicates to the people through press statements, which are written. I've never seen his face on TV or on radio or listen to his voice. I don't know who he is. And I'm a communications person. Two, if now they're saying the police is an independent unit that runs its affairs independently. The political responsibility, however, rests with the ministry. The police have no political responsibility whatsoever, because they will always point at, and it is the perception out here. We can run away from all this, but the reality that comes back home is that we will look at the police and we know that the police is operating at the behest of the regime. So then we look at who in the regime is talking about this. And I would urge the regime, as it is today, borrow a leaf from Magufuli. Magufuli was a complete autocrat. It is known that Magufuli will blanch on his opponents. One of his opponents was shot 16 times and was treated here in Nairobi Hospital.
Who, interestingly, is now in...
Who is interested is now being in a worse situation than Magufuli. But look at what Magufuli was doing with the people. Magufuli was on the side of the people. In fact, he was an activist president. I always say communication is so simple, but people avoid it for I don't know what reason. If they took the side of the people, and for example, the minister stands on Monday, as you've said, Monday morning, you don't even have to wait Monday morning, that same day. You're being paid and you're on 24-hour service because you have the best of the best of the best in terms of life. You can access a chopper anytime. If you are playing golf somewhere in Mombasa, you can fly back, or you can call a presser there.
You can.
And be on the side of the people. The government is a social contract with the people, that we are donating our power to you, that you can protect us, assure us that we will not die.
Or do they think that it's too small a case? I mean, it's just Eric Otieno. He was just a border rider. He's just one out of many. Is it too small a case for attention to be given to?
What I'm saying with these people in government is a warped thinking, that once you go into government, then the best thing you have to do is to appreciate that now you are a bwana mkubwa, and the people are on the other side. They are there to be ruled upon. They are there to be governed.
To be seen.
They are there to be seen and not to be heard. Now, that one affects them badly. And that mentality has to change in government. Because if you borrow from Magufuli's playbook, you'll find that Magufuli would go without his ministers down to the people somewhere in Mwanza or somewhere in Arusha, And you will say, kuna mtu anataka kuongea. They're given the mic. And the person says, sisi hapa, this police officer, this district officer offended me, XYZ, hivo. What does Magufuli do? On the spot. Because this is against the people, you go away. But if also it was fair, then Magufuli would say, then let us see mkuu whatever, see how to sort this issue so that this person gets their right. And this is what they're not borrowing from. In fact, if Magufuli were alive, he would have ruled, and maybe Tanzania would have even changed the constitution to give him a third term.
But that can only happen when